Hey guys, so today we're going to be learning about writing formulas for ionic compounds. So, this is actually not too difficult of a thing to do once you learn how to do it. So when I say writing formulas, what I mean is I'm going to give you the name of a compound. So for example, aluminum chloride. And you need to turn it into a chemical formula. So there's a pretty set way to do this. So what I like to do is draw a vertical line down underneath the two words. Now the first element is always going to be the cation or the positive ion, and it will always be a metal. So the first thing we need to do is figure out the charge of that metal. So we just look on the periodic table, and it's aluminum, and it's in the 3+ column. If you don't remember the charges, remember it's +1, +2, +3, skip, -3, -2, -1, skip. So we're going to write down that aluminum is a 3+. And then we need to find the non-metal anion, which is going to be negative. Now, chloride is the ion form of chlorine. Remember, if it's an anion, you change the ending to "ide." And it's in the -1 column. So we're going to write down -1. Now, there's a rule for ionic compounds. The charges have to balance to 0. So basically, the number of negative charges has to equal the number of positive charges. So you can see right now it's not balanced. I've got +3 and -1. So what I can do to fix that is add more of whichever ion I need to add more of to make the charges balance. So in this case, I need to add more chloride. So I'm going to add one more, that would get me to -2, and then one more gets me to -3. So now I've got 3 positives, 3 negatives, it's balanced, they cancel, it's good. Now I just need to write the formula. Okay, so this is not the formula, this is helping you figure out the formula. So to write the formula, you just write the symbol without the charge, so don't write the charge. And then how many of the element there are. If there's just one, you don't need to write any number. If you don't write a number, we assume there's one. Since there's 3 chlorides, I write Cl, and then I do a little subscript to show how many chlorides there are. And that's the answer. So the formula for aluminum chloride is AlCl3. So you notice we did have to think about the charges to get this formula right. If we don't think about the charges, we're not going to get the formula right. Okay, we're going to do 2 more examples, and then that's really all you need to know. So next we're going to do iron 3 oxide. Okay, so remember, if the element is a transition metal, you have to give the charge in Roman numerals. Because see, if we tried to look up iron, it's a transition metal. We don't know what its charge is. But it's nice because they gave it to you right there. So that's telling us that the iron, which is Fe, is a 3+. This is not telling me that there's 3 irons. It's just telling me the charge. Okay, and then oxide is the ion form of oxygen, which is a -2. Okay, and then I've got 3 and 2, so that's not balanced. It's a little bit trickier to balance this one, but a lot of you can probably see that you just need to add 1 more iron. That'll make it +6, and 2 more oxygens, which will make that -6, so that's good. And then the formula would be Fe2O3. So that's iron 3 oxide, which is rust, by the way. That's the chemical formula for rust. Okay, last one, we're going to do one with a polyatomic ion. We're going to do calcium nitrate. So remember, we talked about polyatomic ions. If the ending of an ion ends in ate or ite, it's probably a polyatomic ion. So remember, there's a bunch of ates or ites. Also, if it's hydroxide or cyanide, it's a polyatomic ion. So we'll get to that in a second, but first let's look up calcium. So calcium is right here. It's a +2. So we're going to do Ca2+. And then we look on the chart to find nitrate. and it's right here, and it's a 1 minus. Okay, even though it kind of looks like it's a 3 minus, it's not. It's in the -1 column. That's showing me that there's 3 oxygens. So NO3, -1. Okay, so I've got 2 positives and 1 negative, so I'm going to need more of my nitrate. So I need 2 of it. Now, to write the formula, you have to do something a little bit different. There's just 1 calcium. And now, if I were to just write NO3, 2, that would look like there are 32 oxygens, right? Which is not what is going on. There's 2 of this whole thing. So what you do is you put this in parentheses and put a little 2 outside. And now you understand why some of these formulas have parentheses. We've seen that before, but now you understand why it is. All right, so that's what we're doing today. Just writing formulas of ionic compounds from their names. So you know everything you need to know to be able to do that. Just remember to look up the polyatomic ions. Remember, if there's a Roman numeral, it's a transition metal, and that gives you the charge. Balance the charges. That's all you need to know.